guys, today I'm filming my winter makeup must-have videos for 2020, and if you guys have not seen one of these videos from me before, I've done several of them on my channel for the past few years for every single season, just letting you know my favorite products I'm going to be using for that season. And I like to talk about eyes, cheeks, lips, and nail products, and I do tend to mention some products that were limited edition or discontinued, and that's not to rub it in your face. It is to remind you to pull them out of your collection if you have them, and it's just me letting you know what specific products I am going to be using for that season. And now just jumping into the products, starting with eyes, I have a whole bunch of ColourPop Super Shock shadows that I love using for the winter time, so I'm just gonna show them all to you. So this first one is Cricket, which is a really pretty dusty purple color. This one has a metallic finish, and I'm not going to edit in between all these shadows. I would love to, but it just takes too long. Then we've got Prickly Pear, which is a metallic finish, and by comparison, this one is warmer and Cricket is a little bit cooler. This is a purple, but it has a lot of that like golden flash to it, which is really pretty. I really like that shade. Then we got one of my favorites, which is Muse. This is a beautiful coppery rose gold. It is a pearlized finish, which is my favorite finish. Then we have Porter. This is a metallic finish, but this one is very dried out, and it's more of like a satin base with some glitter in it than it is like a metallic shadow, but it's a really pretty burgundy color. Then we've got my favorite, which is Static, which is a pearlized finish burgundy, and unfortunately this one was limited edition. I have a bunch of burgundies in my collection, but this one is my favorite. It used to be Drift, and mine had dried out. My friend Jean had sent me hers because I think she'd gotten a duplicate in like a mystery bag, and now it used to be a pearlized, and now they've labeled it as a satin. And even though this was new, it was broken, it dried out very quickly, so I do prefer Static over this one now, even though you can see this is a little bit more purple, this is a little brighter and more red. I do love this color so much. I'm just a little bummed by the formula, and I don't know why it would be a satin. It should be pearlized, but that's just my preference. Then we have Tinsel, which is a metallic finish. This was limited edition. This is a really pretty, more icy purple. It's more cool tone than a lot of these other shades. Then we have Party of Five, which is an ultra glitter finish, which is a really unique eyeshadow. Then we have what I'm wearing on my lids today, which is Koosh. This is an ultra metallic finish, and this is like a taupey silver. It's not as bright as Liberty. And the last one we have is this really bright shimmery red called Fooling Around, and this is a pressed pigment, and it is not safe for the eye area. I, however, am going to be using it on my eyes. So next I wanted to show you my custom Z palette full of my single shadows that I am going to be using for this season. I have eyeshadows from ColourPop, MAC, Makeup Geek, and Anastasia. So I'm going to hold this up to the screen for a while, and then in the description box I will have a row by row breakdown of the shades. The bottom row here has some mini eyeshadows that are depotted from different ColourPop palettes. So lastly for eyeshadow, we have palettes, starting with these two matte palettes from Dose of Colors. I'm going to be using these along with my ColourPop Super Shock shadows, and then some of the shades from my Z palette. And these are products that are, so these two palettes are very neglected in my collection, so I want to make sure I use them more. And this first one is Marvelous Mauves. I'm actually wearing this for Transition Crease Outer Corner today, and I think it's really pretty, and I'm really liking it, which is great. I'm very happy about that. I've used this one several times this month so far, which is exciting, and I'm filming this video on December 17th. And then for a little bit more of like a warm tone, more red option, we do have the blushing Berries palette. So far I've only used this shade, but I'll definitely incorporate that with some of these other colors. Then I've got some drugstore palettes, which would be the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Bling Boss palette. I know there have been mixed opinions on this palette in particular, but this performed really well for me. I purchased mine from Ulta, and I think there are some really pretty shades in here, and I love the looks I created with that one last year. Then I have the ColourPop Give It To Me Straight palette, which is a really pretty palette that's a little bit more warm tone, but this is still something I like for winter because you do have like the rose golds, the cranberry colors, but then you do have some warm shades as well. But this is really pretty and a really nice like fall to winter transition palette. Then we have the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello palette, which again is a mix of warm and cool shades. I absolutely love this matte pink and matte purple, and then these other shimmery colors on the lid are so stunning. So there's my go-to more drugstore palettes, and then I've got 3 high-end palettes. So this first one is Urban Decay's Naked 3. I've used up the matte cream in here, but I really do love this palette. I think that the colors work so well on my skin tone with my blonde hair, my green eyes. I absolutely love this palette. I really do love this palette color-wise, and I wish they would reformulate this to be like the same formula as their Naked Cherry and their Naked Heat palette, because the new formula is so much better. It's more pigmented, it's a little more powdery, but it's more pigmented and it blends really nicely. So I know that this palette looks very boring and I don't think it would work for everyone maybe, but it does work well for me. Then I do have the Naked Cherry palette, which is really pretty, and we've got this beautiful red and pinky tones, but again this one is warmer than a lot of the other palettes that I have, but I think it's good to have that balance. And then the last palette I have is the Huda Beauty New Nude palette, which I wore earlier in 2019 and I really loved it, so I'll be happy to use that one again. So those are all of the eye products that I plan on using for this season. Next I have my go-to winter cheek products. So as I told you guys, I have several bronzer, contours, and highlighters in my collection, so I like to designate specific colors for specific seasons to make sure that all or most of them get some good use. So my go-to winter bronzer would be Benefit Hoola, and here is what this looks like. And depending on your skin tone, I've had people say that this looks more cool on them. For me, I'm wearing it as a bronzer today. I think it looks more neutral. Some people think it looks warm, so it really, again, depends on your skin tone, but I think this is a great, more neutral tone bronzer that I love applying all over. It's a great matte finish. Then for contour, my go-to is the Balm's Take Home the Bronze bronzer in Oliver. I also think this is a really nice, more neutral tone color. I can't really do anything that's too cool tone to contour because it just looks really gray and muddy on me, but I think this is a perfect shade and a really nice formula. Then for highlight, I actually have 5, which is more than I ever have in a season. So the first one is Becca's Pearl. I don't love this, but as you can see, I've hit pan on it. I would like to use this up, but this is my most subtle highlight. It does, I'm wearing this with something lighter on top of it, but it is the most subtle one. This is the one that I have been wearing on a daily basis to work because it's very easy to apply a lot and then blend it out. So I do have that nice shine, but it doesn't look too chalky on the skin and it's not too much. So I have been getting good use out of this, but I just don't love it. Then I put all of my Ofra highlights in a Z palette, and these are other shades I love wearing in the winter time. So we have Glazed Donut, Cloud 9, Space Baby, and Pillow Talk. So these two right here are duochrome pink, duochrome blue, and then we have like icy highlight with a little bit of a warm undertone, but it's still very light and icy, and then one with a pink undertone. So I did top Becca's Pearl today with a little bit of Space Baby, and it looked kind of crazy, so I did blend it out. But I do love the Ofra highlight formula, and these are great for more intense highlights, but like I said, for a daily basis, Becca's Pearl has been the best for me. So now we have a whole crap ton of blushes. So I'm just going to run through and show you what I've got. This first one is from MAC. It is Breath of Plum, which is a beautiful matte finish. Then I've got the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Exposed, which is a great staple. It's not too cool, it's not too warm, it's a great neutral color. If I'm going with a more intense eye, this is a perfect blush to pair with it. Then I've got the Clinique Cheek Pop palette from last holiday, and in here you've got Nude Pop, Black Honey, and Pink Honey. These are the two blushes that I am going to be using. Then I have my one drugstore blush. This is one of my very first blushes. I'm sure I probably just need to get a new one at this point, but it's such an amazing color and a really good formula, and I can never be without this. This is e.l.f.'s Berry Mary, which is a beautiful, very deep color with some silver shimmer in it. So stunning and very pigmented. Then I've got some blushes from NARS, and this one is similar, so I'll show you in comparison. This is Sin from NARS, which is a beautiful shimmery deep purple color, and when you compare the two, Berry Mary has some more red tones in it. It's a little warmer, but they are rather similar, but I think you guys can tell the difference there. Then for something very warm, which I like this season, but I don't wear it the most, this is NARS Outlaw. It is a really intense color. It is a deep red with some golden shimmer in it. So when I'm going with a more warm eye, or if I'm wanting something that is very like red tone, this is perfect for that. Then I've got this little baby NARS Goulet or Goulet. This was a VIB Rouge shade. I bought this little mini off of eBay. This color is everything. It is so beautiful because it is nice and intense, but it's not as deep as these two blushes, so it's a lot easier for me to wear, and this does have a really nice shine to it. Then we have what I'm wearing on my cheeks today, which is Urban Decay Rapture, which is a very deep blush, but I just used a light amount of product. I applied it with a light hand and blended it out, but I do think this looks very beautiful, and it's a shame that this blush range was discontinued from Urban Decay because they actually are quite nice. Then I have one of my most used. This is the Clinique Cheek Pop in Heather Pop. You can see I've worn down some of that flower pattern. Just a really nice subtle satin finish blush. I'm sorry I'm not describing the colors the best. These are all very similar in tone, as you can tell. Then lastly, I've got my three blushes from The Balm, which is my favorite blush brand. So this first one is Cabana Boy, which is more of like a brighter pinky purple, and this one has a more of a shimmery finish as well. Then I've got two from the In Stain collection. I've got Houndstooth, which is very beautiful. This is a little bit warmer as well. This is such a pretty shade, and that one is a matte finish. I've used that one a lot. And then something that is new to me is another In Stain blush, and this one is in Pinstripe, which is a lot darker. So I'm a little nervous about this one, but I think some of these other blushes I have are even darker than this, and I know these are very pigmented, and this one does have a bit of a sheen to it. So those are all of the cheek products that I am going to be using this season. And next we've got lips. I don't have as many lip products here. There are other things in my collection that I wear during the winter time, but I wouldn't call them must-haves, and there are some things that I'm contemplating whether I wanted to keep them or not, so I didn't want to show them in this video because they're not must-haves. And in here I do have some products that are newer to me, I haven't used a ton, and then some true must-have, so it's kind of a mix. So I have one bullet lipstick. This is the Urban Decay Matte Revolution lipstick in Back Talk, and of course they have the Vice range now, but I bought these right before they discontinued this line. I bought them when they were on sale. So there is what Back Talk looks like, which is just such a classic mauve color. Then I've got some lip pencils or jumbo lip crayons, and this first one is a MAC Patent Polish lip pencil in the shade Kittenish, which is a formula I really love. This is a beautiful mauve color. It has like a medium opacity and a glossy finish to it. So you can see this is a lot more pink and brighter than Back Talk. This is such a comfortable formula and easy to just throw on. Then I have a ColourPop lippy stick in the shade Cami. This is a matte X finish. This just looks stunning on the lips, and this is definitely more of a warm tone. That's so amazing. Then I've got some glosses. So this is a nude option. This is Buxom's White Russian. So this is a little bit more of a milky pink nude, which is what I like to wear during this time of year. And you can see most of my lip products are a mauve. So to have more of a nude option, again, I think will be great if I'm doing a really intense eye. So right there is Buxom's White Russian. Then we have what I'm wearing on my lips today. This is a NARS Velvet Lip Glide in the shade Bound. I've been seeing these, like all the shades, popping up at TJ Maxx for around like $8. So I would definitely recommend you pick it up from there because these are very expensive products. And it's such a comfortable formula. It gives a great like medium full opacity on the lips. And here is that shade there. So it's a really pretty pinky mauve color. It is a little bit more cool tone, but it isn't gray looking. Then we have something that was limited edition. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Last Liquid Catsuit in Petal Poison. But here's what that one looks like. And this actually looks more cool tone even compared to the NARS, but it has the same amount of coverage. Then I have 5 liquid lipsticks. This first one is Dose of Color Stone, which is like the quintessential winter lip color. And mine is a little older in my collection, but I do have a backup, so I'm going to use it this winter, then get rid of it and open up the new one. And I love the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick formula. Here is Stone, so it is a little bit more muted and cool tone than these others. It's a little more purpley. Next I have a mini of the Too Faced Melted Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Queen Bee. I do like this formula, but I do prefer the Dose of Colors a little bit more, and this one feels a little bit more moussey, but it might just be that the sample's a bit dried out. So there is Queen Bee, and it feels like with each swatch I'm like, that one is the coolest, that one is the coolest, that one has the most purple tones, but that seems like what's happening right now. Then I've got 2 from Lime Crime. This is their Velveteen liquid lipsticks. I have Trinity and Faded. Trinity is a little lighter and brighter. This actually might also be really nice for the springtime. I'll have to try it out this year in winter and spring to see when I like it best. And then I've got the color Faded, which isn't quite as pale. These look really similar though, but there is Trinity, there is Faded. And the last one I have is the deepest. This is the Sephora Cream Lip Stain in number 14, Blackberry Sorbet. These liquid lipsticks are very affordable and a very comfortable formula. I definitely recommend these, and they have like 100 shades. So right there is a swatch of Blackberry Sorbet, and these are all my lippies. And lastly, we have nail polish, and I'm looking at these and I'm just not as excited as I was about my fall polishes. I have so many fall polishes, more than I could even really wear, but they are just my tones and they made me feel more happy. And these polishes I have here, I think all of them are pretty and they're good formulas, but I'm just not as excited about them. But anyway, let me show you my staple polishes. So I've got them split up into categories. So this first one is more neutral tone. So this is the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Brilliant nail polish in Always Naked, which is a dupe for Essie Saint Tropez. This I love wearing on its own because it gives me that perfect mannequin hand effect, and I am like down to here, I think. So I'm like halfway done with this bottle. Again, I don't think they make this anymore. The Essie one I don't think has an amazing formula, so I would love your recommendations. If you have very fair skin, what is your perfect like mannequin hand nude? Then I've got a more taupey polish. This is OPI Taupeless Beach, which is a really great classic, very professional color. I remember I got a manicure with this when I had my job interview, and I thought it was just very pretty. And then we have a neutral that's a little bit more fun. This is 90 Lacquer S'more Hollow, which is a holographic taupey polish. I think this is very pretty, and this is what I'm wearing on my nails today. So it's definitely more subtle of a holographic. When you get it outside or in the right lighting, you can see it, but it's a little bit more subtle than some of Jess's other shades. Then I've got 5 nudes, and they're like blush nudes. This is like a pure nude. These are like blush nudes. So this first one is from Formula X, which is a brand that's no longer around. This is the shade Impeccable. I'm not going to be able to describe these because they're all so similar that it is pathetic. So we've got 4 from KL Polish. So we have Aquarius, Lumiere, Alyssa, and Zoe. So Aquarius has the most tan. I think Lumiere is a little bit more rosy. Alyssa's warmer and Zoe is more purple. So they're all different, but like you definitely do not need all 4 of them, but I just had to have them. I wanted the whole Lips and Tips collection, and I actually did not mean to buy Aquarius. They just sent it to me on accident, and I really love that color. I wore that one recently. I thought it looked very, very beautiful. And then I've got some nice cool tone metallic polishes, and this first one is actually more warm tone. This is a gold. This is OPI's Glitzerland, which is a classic sandy gold that I love wearing with my red polish for Christmas, of course. Then I've got more like icy tones that I think are great for New Year's or just a winter wonderland. So this first one is an OPI Liquid Sand, which is their textured polish line, and this is in the shade It's Frosty Outside, which is a silver base with some brighter silver glitter pieces. Then we've got OPI Designer De Better, which is a beautiful platinum polish with some copper reflex. Then we have OPI DS Radiance, which is a true silver foil. And lastly, we have Color Club Harp on it, which is a beautiful silver holographic. This is like the best, brightest, most true silver holo I've ever seen. And then I've got my 2 vampy polishes. You guys know that vampy polishes are not my thing. I just don't love the way that they look on me. But my red polish is Essie's Double-Breasted Jacket, which is a beautiful, very bright red. And I think that these two will just pair so nicely together. And then my go-to deep vampy polish is Zoya's Margot, which is a beautiful purple with a little bit of red mixed into it. It's a beautiful deep berry polish, and I love Zoya's formula. And those are all of my winter makeup must-haves. So I am trying to get myself excited to wear these products. I've been enjoying the makeup I've been wearing this month, but I just love my fall makeup products so much more, and I know I can wear whatever colors I want, whatever time of year, and I certainly believe that. But I'm a very basic bee, and I like to wear my seasonally appropriate colors. So I would love to know your winter makeup must-haves in the comments down below. What type of colors do you tend to wear? Obviously I go with more cool tones, purple tones, mauve tones, but I would love to know what products that you tend to reach for. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.